Hey, welcome back to Smart Social Secrets. So glad to have you here today. I am really excited about what I'm going to talk to you about today because it is one of the major questions I get asked a lot by consultants when I'm working with them. And that is, how do I charge for my services? How do I do that? How do I get enough money coming in? Because a lot of times we as consultants don't charge enough for our services, number one, because you have to make a livable wage. There's no doubt about that. Then you need to be able to live. And number two, we don't really know how to go about doing this. So I want to share with you my three secrets to charging more for your services and also delivering more value. So not just charging more, but also delivering more value for your clients. So you feel good about charging more so that they feel good about you and what they're paying for the service because it gets them the results that they want. Okay, so I'm going to dive right in and I'm going to share my screen with you today. I have 3 points I'm going to come at you with, and I'm going to jump right into them so that you can learn them as quickly as possible. But in the end of the day, as consultants, we need to find a way to really be working with our customers in a way that they understand. So let me get to my window here so I can share the right place with you. It's going to come up. Okay. So the secret C's to charging more for your services. And as I said, adding more value. So the value goes with the charging. So you can't just charge services and not add value. All right. Great. So number one is to create a system. And that is probably one of the biggest mistakes I made as a consultant early on is that we try to just honestly do everything for everyone. And if somebody asks us, do you do that? We're like, sure. And then we labor over a proposal for doing that particular task for that client. And then at the end of the day, we don't really have that dialed in and we spend tons of time on it and we don't charge enough for it. We don't know what to charge for it. So a system is really important. And I don't mean a system inside your company, although that's really important too. We can talk about internal systems for your company if you guys want to at a different time. We struggle with that here at Zoetica too, and we've come up with some great systems. But in the end of the day, you need a system that you're selling to your clients. So they want a system that will get them from point A to point B the fastest possible. And especially if they're hiring you to do it, they are looking at you as the expert. They want you to tell them what the pathway is. It's really important that you understand this. So you don't want to be asking them what they want, although you do want to listen to them. You want to hear what their problems are. You want to solve their problems, but you want to have a system in place that makes them comfortable, that they understand they're in good hands. So, if you had, for example, a tour guide and you showed up at a theme park and you had bought into a tour guide to take you around, what would you expect? You would expect them to know all of the insider information about certain things. You would expect them to have an itinerary for you for the day, that they would get you onto the rides faster, that they would get you through all of it. You wouldn't pay for that service unless you did that. So, unless you expected that. So that is what your clients expect from you too. They are expecting you to take them and walk them through the process. Now, if you are working as a consultant and you are just an order taker, so that does happen too. There are consultants that just work as an extension of staff for an organization, and you show up every day to work, and they tell you, "Here's your task for today." That's not what I'm talking about here. So if that's your role and you're happy with it, that's great because those are needed too. Those are really like embedded employees, but they are consultants. And by the way, the government is kind of cracking down on that a little bit because they want to make sure that you have that you're paying those people as employees if that's the case. So that being said, and I am going to sneeze, I think. So I'm going to try. I turned off the mic so you didn't have to hear that. Sorry about the sneeze. Anyway, so they are going to need to pay you as an employee at some point. I think the government doesn't like that. So at least here in the United States, that still is possible. So if though you're wanting to step out and be a consultant, which is different, that is an organization that takes something from A to Z and walks the client through it, then you need to come up with systems that you sell all kinds of things. I'm going to show you one of mine right now. So this is one of my systems. It's called the Pathway to Mastery. Um, so a couple of years ago, I started a private coaching part of my business. So that is for PR and marketing consultants. So like yourself, if you're a consultant listening to this, I help PR and marketing consultants get their social media dialed in so that it's driving business for them and they're getting authority built. Because a lot of things, one of the big things for a consultant is building your online authority so people look to you for a specific type of service. And so that is what I do. I work with a group of about 20 of them, and I'll be opening this up later this year, so it's not even open right now, but I just want to tell you about it. So it's called the Pathway to Social Mastery. It's called Smart Social Mastery, the whole group organization. But I have a pathway to mastery that if you follow these 6 steps, by the time that you dial these 6 steps in, you will have a very persuasive online presence that you can use for your business to build it. And so we start with Explorer, which is really around exploring what you need and what you want as a company. And then we go to Connector, which is connecting with the right people, including your dream clients, and then architecting your presence online, and then going on toward creating content to put on that platform that you created in the architect stage. And then the attractor stage is, you have all this stuff set up. And so how are you going to attract people into your world at that point? And then innovation is the next level. So how do you get to the next level? And you can go around and around in this circle and just get better and better each time and up level your business, up level your thought leadership presence as you go along. So this is the system that I sell. You can grab a taste of it, I guess you could say, for free at the bit.ly link I have on the screen, bit.ly/pathway video series, all lowercase, pathway video series. And I just have a free 6 video pathway so that you can go through it one time just to kind of see what you think. So that's something you can grab for free right now. And it basically gives you an insight into that. But you need a system like this that you sell to your clients. Can you see how that's different than me telling you, hey, I'm going to teach you how to be a thought leader and come along with me? Or, hey, I have this system that if you follow these 6 steps, I promise you that you are going to start attracting new clients into your business without effort. You're going to be able to be online and building your thought leadership. So that is what we got there. So I just wanted to show that to you because I think it's a good example. A lot of other ones are there too. So let me give you some other examples. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the big 3 consulting groups out there in the world, but those consulting groups get billions and millions, I shouldn't say billions, they get millions of dollars to advise their clients. And those are the ones that you may have heard of or not. The big 3 are Boston Consulting Group, McKinsey, and Bain. Those are the 3 that most big corporations will hire to help them with their problem solving. So this is a really quick, I went out and grabbed this so you could see it. I was talking with a friend the other day and we were talking about the big 3 and how a lot of times they come in and they give you the advice that you already were getting from your internal employees, but they don't listen to the employees. They'll only listen to the big consulting groups when they come in because, they paid them $1 million for the same solution that you could have given them yesterday, or you may even have a better solution. But that's the problem. They have learned how to package their systems and sell them as, a tried and true way of getting something done. So here is their big 3 approach. I'm going to show you this real quick. I'll make it a little bit bigger and me a little bit smaller so you can see it. But this is just the normal 5-step problem solving matrix that many of the consulting firms use. They define the problem, they decide on the approach to take, they collect and analyze the data, and they present the recommendations, and they do follow up to see if the recommendations were successful. So this is their 5-step process. And you can see inside of this process, you can do a lot of different kinds of things, but this is what they would show. Like, this is our process. This is how we're going to help you. And a lot of companies buy into this, obviously, because they pay millions of dollars. And why do they pay millions of dollars? Because they didn't get a capability sheet. So one of the advice that I got early on when I was starting my my agency was to put together a capability sheet. And a capability sheet, hey Alan, how are you doing? I see you. A capability sheet is basically a laundry list of all of the things that you do, like all of the things that you can provide for a client. And it's really it's deceptively easy to do that, like, or not easy, but it's deceptively you want to do this. You're like, oh yeah, that's what I need. I need a capabilities list. And then when people ask you, what do you do? Then you can send over that capabilities list and they can see all of the things that you can do for them. The problem with that is, and this is what I found to be true, I have a capabilities list. I did that. And what I found to be true is that when you give somebody a capabilities list, they often just choke on it. So there's two things that happen generally when somebody gets a capabilities list. Number one, they read through it and they're like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, yeah, I probably could help somebody to have somebody to help me. Capability sheet. Thank you. Um, that they, they can help me with this. Okay, I see that they write white papers. Okay, great. So maybe we can have them write a white paper. I don't have a white paper I need written right now, but sometimes I might, So, I mean, you look at this capability sheet and you start sizing the person up and saying, okay, and it's great, except for whenever it's time for them to hire somebody like you, they won't remember you. They won't remember your capability sheet. They won't remember anything about you. That capability sheet is not very helpful to the client. It's maybe helpful to you so that you understand what you and your team can do internally, but handing it off to the client is a mistake because I'll tell you why. They are going to again look at it and either they're not going to take any action with it because it's not really inspiring to action, right? It's just a list of things that are available. And they may buy something from you if they're like needing something right now. But then the second problem kicks in with the capability sheet, and that is commoditizing. So with the capability sheet, when you hand it over to somebody, they look at it and they think, oh, can you do a little bit less of this for cheaper? Or can I get this for that? You start getting into bartering mode at that point where you're, or not bartering, but you're just like, yeah, bartering. You're starting to talk about, what you can drop out, what you can give, and they start talking about price almost immediately. It brings them to price immediately. And they start to say, well, I don't really want to have 3 posts a day. Like if you're a social media manager, I've had this happen a lot. They'll say, okay, I'm going to do 5 posts for you a week, Monday through Friday. And they're like, well, what if we just did Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? Would that be cheaper? And the answer is no, because it takes just as much time and effort to ramp up, to get a strategy together, to write the content, to find the content for 3 days as it does for 5. So that is the problem. The problem is that it becomes very commoditized. And I've seen it in my business. I don't know if you've seen it in yours. Let me know. Hey, Wayne, how are you doing? Yeah, capability sheet. Yes, this is exactly what it is. And so the problem again with the capability sheet is that it absolutely doesn't. So let me tell you a slightly better way. Okay. So I told you that the system is the really important part of this, right? And I don't know when you got here, but the system is huge, 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 huge. So again, this is a big 3 way of handling it. So the big 3 consulting firms in the country of the United States and the world, really, they have this 5-part step thing. And they also have, there's another little one I'm going to show you. They have a thing they call an issue tree. Like here, the hypothesis true if condition 1, 2, and 3. So they tell you about the system that they're going to run for you, and they're going to find out what your problems are. So for example, in that step 1, defining the problem, this would be the system inside of defining the problem. So for each of these steps, big, huge consulting groups have a system for step 1, a system for step 2, a system for step 3, 4, and 5. And what happens is that the client buys into the whole system. Like, I have to do number 1 to get to number 5. And they don't start saying, well, if we just got rid of collecting and analyzing data, and could we like cut down the cost? Do you see what I'm saying? Like it gives you the whole picture. And it's a little bit of work on our part because we need to have a pathway for our customers. And like I told you, I have done that with the pathway to mastery, for example. This is exactly why I created a pathway. I sat down. I'll tell you how I created this pathway. It might help you to understand what's going on. When I created this pathway, I sat down and said, how did I build my business and how did I build my thought leadership? How did I get to the point where I'm getting referrals without problems. I really do very little advertising. How did I get there for my consulting business? And I wrote them down on sticky notes, like the steps that I took throughout my career to get to that point. And then I put them into buckets. So, and I ended up with these 6 buckets. I did Explorer, which is really about strategy. I did Connector, which is really about creating relationships in the marketplace, architecting, which is designing and building a hive, what I like to call a hive of like my website, like social media, and all the places. And then I was a creator in the sense that, then I went out and I started creating content. Like even today, I'm here creating content for you because I know that you need this. I know that you need this because people ask me, because I have those connections and relationships, and people have asked me so many times, like, how do you price things? How do you do that? And then attracting an audience after that. So when you are creating content, how do you attract an audience that grows? Well, for example, if you go to bit.ly/pathway video series, you see the link here on the screen. Also, it's in the description of this video, wherever you're watching it. You can click on that and you can get a free version of my Pathway to Mastery system. So you can see for yourself if you like it, if you don't like it, if it seems like something you'd be interested in. So that pathway gets people into your world. It brings them into you. And you have to think about that for your clients too. I have a 4-part process for my clients, for my actual consulting clients. And that is very similar to what it's the 4 C's instead of the 3. And it's really about connecting, calibrating, creating, and also capabilities. So I have this 4C process I give to my clients too. So you need one like that for your clients, and you can have several of them. If there's several different things you do, think about them in packages. How can you package them up in a way that people will be interested in them? Okay, I've said enough. That's why a system is much more helpful than a capability sheet. A system is a bigger and better process for your clients to get to come start working with you, so that they feel comfortable with you, so they feel like you have what it takes to get them there. Okay, cool. So moving on, I'm going to give you the second C. Okay, so we've gone through the first C, which is I think the biggest one, but the second C is this one, and it is to communicate a big idea. And what I mean by that is you have your system, which is awesome, but then you need to wrap that in a big idea. So what does that look like? That is a very good question. I know it's a great one to ask right now, but a big idea is really all about the marketing idea. So there is the system that you have, and then you have to market that system to your clients. So how can you do that? And there's different ways. People use, different sales during the year and things like that. And I don't think that really works for consultants as much. I think that for us, there are things like times of year that you can peg things with. Like, hey, I've seen people say, if they work with brick and mortar, for example, I've seen them say, hey, we can get you ready for the big sale seating for Black Friday. So Black Friday is coming. It's coming. It's coming. They start this in June, maybe May, June. Maybe they help people with their marketing for Black Friday. Okay, so if you do that and you have a package for here's our Black Friday package, then you can actually wrap that in a big idea. And the big idea might be something like learn how to double your sales for Black Friday this year. That would be the big idea. So that's the marketing idea, right? How do you market that system that you created? And by the way, every year you can market it in a different way. The system doesn't change, like the way that you deliver the product doesn't necessarily change, but the way you wrap the product would change. So for example, let me give you a good one that's more recent. And I have another one coming up too that I'll talk to you about that I'm not quite ready to give you like links on yet. But I wrote a book with 36 authors. And one of the things that we did, it's called The Most Amazing Marketing Book Ever. And that is an audacious title. When I heard that title, like this is what we were going to name it, I was a little I had some trepidation. I'm a PR person at heart. And I was like, oh, that's a big claim. So one of the things that happened with that is that I took on the marketing for the book. So that was my job I volunteered to do it. So one of the things I thought is we need to have a launch for the book. So when you have a book, you really do need to launch it. And you need to have a big marketing idea around a launch. And how do you create a big marketing idea for a marketing book? A marketing book that calls itself the most amazing marketing book ever. So I thought about that and it hit me one night that we needed to have a really big launch. Like it needed to be gigantic. And also, by the way, the authors are located all around the world. There are authors in France, and there's authors in Australia, and there's authors in Sri Lanka, and there's authors in the United States, which is one of the reasons why it's amazing, by the way, is it has so much perspective and also it boils it down. It's a really a companion kind of guide. Well, so I thought about that and I thought, you know what? Let's do a 24-hour period where we do free um, workshops about the book, like for each chapter, and have each author come on and talk about their chapter, talk about what's important about it for you. And that's what we did. And so I created the um, voila 24 hours of amazing marketing ideas. And we did this in June, just past. We had a ton of participation around it. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of people watched these videos. They were actually streamed to multiple platforms. So I don't have amazing. I don't have all of the data, unfortunately, because the way we did it. But 24 hours of amazing marketing ideas was a awesome day long, and it went from like 6 a.m. U.S. time to like I don't know, it was like midnight US time. So it kind of like it went over 2 days for the other parts of the world. So elevate your marketing and here are all the experts that we're going to speak and you could register to get it. Now, you can also register to get the replay just so you know. That's also possible for you to do that there, but I think I actually have it. I'll give you the URL here in a second if you want the replay of this, where you can go in and actually search for things that you're interested in. So that's another free way to get involved with this. So let me put that here. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this on some of the platforms, but I will put it on a ticker for you so that you can see it. I just gave it out to you though. And so, yeah, this was our big marketing idea. It was the most amazing marketing book ever. And it was the most amazing, launch ever. And it was covered by lots of people on their podcasts and people are very interested in how we did it and what we did. And we've done some other marketing since, but this was the big marketing idea. So do you get that what I'm trying to say when I say big marketing idea? I'm going to give you a ticker here. Just give me a second. Here you go. I'm tickering this for you if you guys want to go check it out. So here it is, the 24 hours of amazing marketing. And you can go there and get the instant replay. I've actually put it all in a really cool searchable video hub for anybody who wants to get it. And if you want to buy the book, that'd be great too. Many of you have, so thank you so much if you have. That being said, that's the big marketing idea. So that's number 2 is the big marketing idea. Okay, cool. So let me move on to the next idea for you, which is the third idea. And I'm going to bring myself up big so I can go grab it for you. And I'm going to shut this off. Hopefully you guys have seen it. And I will turn off the banner. Let me turn that off real quick. There we go. So I've given it to you here too. So you can look if it's easier to see. All right. So number 3 then would be to and this one it's not as easy to illustrate, but it's really important. And number 3 on the 3 C's of raising your prices and conveying value is conferring value, or conveying, you could say, even conveying or conferring value to your customer. So what you want to do is you want to be you need to show the value that you have for your customer. And those two things, the first 2 really help you get there because you have a system now, you have a big marketing idea that you can put together. But then once you get that client, you need to actually deliver, right? So you need to have a delivery system or delivery method, I guess, of delivering what you're going to do. And so that's really, really critical for you to do that. I need to get rid of this. I don't know how to do it. Oh, it just automatically put it there. I don't know. I don't know how to get rid of that, guys. But you have to convey that value and you have to do what you're going to do. So, one of the things that we often do is we tell them, we have these three steps. I think that that big three thing that I showed you earlier is a really great way to look at that too. So, um, let me go back to that slide. This is a really great way too. Like first we're going to do this, then we're going to do that, then we're going to collect this, and then we're going to go to that. This this creates the value. They see the value they're going to get from it. And then as you walk through, if you put like dates on this and they use Gantt charts and all kinds of crazy stuff, that would be very helpful too for you to get that there. So in the end of the day, you're wanting to convey that value for your client. It's really important that you do that because that value is why they pay you. And then I promise you, I tell you how to raise your rates, and this is how. So you need to have a package deal that has a price on it, and that package deal that says, "Hey, you have to follow all of these steps in order to get this result." And then guess what? They're not going to nickel and dime you for the money. They're either going to say they can afford it or they can't afford it. And if they can't afford it, maybe you don't need to be doing it because you're selling yourself short as a consultant. I do believe that we are selling ourselves short as a consultant, and we need to think about how to get better about that. So those are my three ideas. If you have any questions about that, let me know. But those are the three things that I know that we need to do. We need to create a system, communicate a big idea, we need to convert value, and that's where we're at. And if you would like to see my system and see how I put it together for consultants, you can grab that at this bit.ly pathway video series. That is where you can go with that. So the bit.ly is again bit.ly/pathway video series. You can get this link in the description of the video wherever you're watching this. This link is in the description. So all you have to do is go there and click on it. Makes it really, really easy. But that's all. So that's it. Those are the three things that you need to do. It seems like simple. It isn't. It's going to take you a little time to figure these things out. What is your system? What is your big idea that you're going to market that system with? And by the way, that can change over time. I have one coming up called Instant Authority. That's coming up in September. So if you are interested in Instant Authority, what we do in that is it's a 2-hour class basically where I teach you how to create influence based content for your brand that's very specific to your brand with all the chat GPT stuff that's going on right now and all of the depersonalized stuff. I actually teach you how to use those tools, including chat GPT. I have a little chat GPT magic in there for you. I will teach you that too, how to make it come out in your own voice and make it be something that is uniquely you and your system. We talk about your system there. We talk about your big idea a little bit, and we really talk about that, getting that value in for your customer. So those are the three C's: can create a system, communicate a big idea, and confer value for your customers by delivering amazing product. So that is the three. That's it for today, guys. Have a great one. Hope you have an amazing time. And tell me about your system. I would love to hear if you make any changes to the way that you are putting together your packages for your clients. Now, how much to charge exactly for exact products? I can't tell you that on a live stream like this because that is too general. But in general, I need you to look at that too. So we go through that in depth in our program as well, as far as like, how do you find that price point for yourself? So I would love to have you in the program in September. Let me know if you want to join us for Instant Authority because that's also free. But and I should have all of those up, those landing pages up like within the week or so. So let me know if you are interested, and I'll make sure you get a copy of the link. Okay, take care. Bye.